Namaste, welcome, beautiful souls, and welcome to a new member, Meja. Lovely to have you, and thank you for supporting my channel, my work. I really appreciate that. I'm going to start today just reflecting on and reading from the Voyager Tarot Companion. This is a lovely group of poems. The subtitle for the book is Magical Verses for a Magnificent Voyage. And this is by James Wanless. I've said before that this book of poetry, yes, it supports the Voyager Tarot. However, I really feel like this book of poems is a standalone and is a lovely reflection for any tarot deck. The priestess lives in her hearing and sees through all illusion and deceit. Priestess trusts intimately, feeling like a gentle lover. She is conduit, messenger, circuit. Priestess speaks from the divine straight to the depths of your soul. Priestess thinks with passionate detachment, her feelings in balance, never jagged or flimsy, and priestess reflects and speaks with soft strength. Her spirit is pure like fresh snow, as clear as a winter breeze. I feel like the priestess is, it's this beautiful organza, but it's not as translucent as organza. You know, it's a really high quality chiffon, something you can see through. Like there is a veil there, but there's also, I don't know, it's intensely gorgeous. I just love this energy. When you meet the priestess on Tarot's path, stop and listen. Withdraw within and wait, and with slow, deep breath, Spirit will speak and you will hear. If mind, body, and feelings are like a clear blue iceberg, calmly expect and trust. Namaste to you, Donna. It's so nice to have you here supporting these readings when I wander astray and get me back on the path. The energy of the priestess card is calm and still, as strong as a glacier, as trusting as a raft. Your priestess reflects like the moon seeing with deep diamond eyes into hidden truth. And what a card! What a card to have as a number. This card is very much connected to my life path, and I feel, the responsibility to listen. To listen. So if you have this card for the year, this is one about finding a deeper connection to your own inner wisdom. I also feel that there's an embodying of the divine feminine that one takes on in order to find that. And so if you identify as masculine, as male, that this is about really learning to listen and to trust that aspect of your whole self. The number 2 is a really interesting number, and that is one of sacral chakra, and we can look at both duality and relationship. And the concept of separation, to ask why is it necessary to be in relationship in order to see more clearly. And you'll notice that not in this deck, but in many a priestess card, the priestess sits between two towers, one black and one white. And it's important that we can see both, to know that we are both. And this number is very close to the 1, so it's just kind of separated. It's just begun its journey of looking at the other in order to know oneself. Welcome, Mary Beth. Namaste. And so this reading is happening on January 11th, 2026. This is for a reading for the High Priestess for this year, a reading for those of you with number 2, really any association with number 2, the Priestess. Her planet is the moon. And today right now, the moon is in Scorpio. Eight lunations, good morning to you. So when I cut the cards, where is the High Priestess going to be? At home in the water. I mean, that is where she is her best. That is where I feel that she delivers the clearest message. It must be morning. I'm having a hard time adjusting this. Okay, there we go. Come on, baby. You can do it. And I also think that this deck honors this process very much. 4 very even cuts. That's cool. I haven't looked at these collages for a while. I love this card. Look at this, Woman of Crystals. Empress is here. Moon is here. 9 of Worlds. Death. Lots of Lovers. Lots of big hitting cards. Universe, Devil's Play. 6 of Wands. 9 of Wands. So High Priestess is not here. Or Priestess is not here. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. Hi, Casey. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, she's here. Okay. Helping us on our path. It's kind of been a theme, hasn't it? That the turning of the wheel, if you're working, the nuance is slightly different in working with a number 1 than working with a number 10. Yet they are one. They are one. And can you feel both? Can you be both? I did this exercise during, and I'm going to do a follow-up workshop. I did this exercise when I was doing my advent calendar, and that was to draw a daily card, and to allow it to evoke an emotion. And then cultivate the opposite emotion. And part of this practice is learning to move between the 2 emotions and then eventually be both. And I feel that's part of the gift of the High Priestess, is that she can be both and teach us how to be both. And when we learn how to be both, the light and the dark, that it is easier to transition from one to the other, and that the journey of the transition isn't so sharp. It's a lot softer. Yeah. Okay. Balance. Harmony at the bottom of the pile. Priestess is right there. Okay, so she is there. Ace of Worlds is there. So we won't see Ace of Worlds. So let's just go ahead and lay the cards down. So our first card is the Libra card. So this is 8 balance, not temperance. which isn't that a beautiful support for the High Priestess, right? It's kind of reinforces that message of, and there's also this beauty and grace that comes with the energy of Libra. No matter what we hold, no matter where we find ourselves, how can we take an inhale and an exhale, make a slight adjustment so that we find our center? And I think that exercise of cultivating the opposite emotion and then learning to find and be both is just such an important one. So we have 8 balance, 10 of cups. Okay, so last reading, 10 of cups, was the 3rd card. Oh, this is beautiful. So we have 20 here. So in so many ways, the 20th Arcanum is really important because it's the double X of the wheel. It's also 20, which is a reduction of the High Priestess is a reduction. 20 is 2. And this is, I think what this means for you is that you're not going to get away from the spiritual, the awakening, the opening, the crack in time that is to be yours this year. Okay, let's turn over one more and then I'll lay down the rest. Hermit has certainly figured into these readings. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woman of Wands is the 11th card. The 10 of Cups in between the 8 balance and the 20th card. What is this? It's called Time Space in this deck. This is the Eon card or the Judgment card. I don't know why I'm feeling like what do you call that when time, there's fractals in time and we can be in multiple. It's not a fractal. It's like a portal. It's when we can step and be in another time. It's those moments. Sometimes it's really fleeting, like a deja vu. But I don't know if you've had those experiences where you wonder, is it an old version of myself that's showing up here, or have I stepped back and out of time? And these kinds of special moments really happen when there are these, when we've let go and we've let the filters that protect us fall away. When I think of the High Priestess card, I think of Carmen Sorrenti's Falarcos Tarot. And I think that would be a beautiful deck, if you have that one, to work with this year, to really sort of tap into your own deconstruction so you can find so you can experience what your essence feels like without all of those filters. And to, instead of feeling vulnerable, to learn to feel powerful. The key word in this deck for 10 of Cups is passion. So it is a 10. It is in every way, it's And I really like that the colors that have been chosen for this card, because this is a Marshall Decan, and it really is, it brings up this energy of, I allow myself to feel who I am and what I am, and to stand with that passion. So here I am in a watery sign of Pisces, and yet I'm able to embrace this fire of the Ten of Cups. And let this Ten of Cups inspire. If you want to turn and think about a Ten of Cups in a Waite Smith inspired deck, let the energy of the encore. If you have ever been on stage and you've ever experienced an encore or closing night, it is, well, it's bittersweet, but it's so exhilarating. It's so exhilarating, and I feel this exhilaration within you. I think this is an opportunity to really allow your clairsentience, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience to trust in all of that, and to trust what, to trust how these adjustments that you make begin to open yourself as a portal, as a conduit for spirit. So you've got the Hermit. The Hermit's also been figuring well in these readings. And I think the Hermit and the High Priestess speak well together to inner journeys and deeper understanding. Knowledge is the light of life. The light in the darkness helps us to understand and to be warm, and to be more comfortable with these inner wanderings. And like, wowza, 8, 10 of Cups, 20, and 9. So right off the bat, 3 majors that are very much a part of a higher frequency year. Now, I know this can be really difficult to hear if that's not what's going on for you. I'd find it hard to believe if you hadn't considered some of this and you're actually listening to this reading. If you are doing the work of a spiritual counselor, if you are helping people on their journeys as a healer, as a reader, and you are stepping into this year of change and listening to this reading and identify with this archetype, it feels like this would be a year, an opportunity for you to take your mediumship to a whole other level. Crack in time, that's what I was thinking, like a crack in time. And the other day I was talking about Kate and Leopold, and one of the things I like about that the movie is I love the opening screen, the closing screen, where they've got all the wheels of the clock turning, and I love that the key word for this 20th arcanum is time and space, a reminder that time is woven. Time is woven, and this feels very much like a weaving for you. And so we need to, adjust the warp and the weft. Remember that this card of balance is your first card. And there's a beauty, right? There's a beauty to this too. So you want to embrace the Venusian qualities of these adjustments and really, it could simply be about refining what you listen to Maybe that goes into certain classical music that you have been wanting to listen to. Maybe this is about refining the frequency, so you start to listen to some mantra, some sacred music from another tradition. This makes me think of a song that when I have wandered away, I always come back to. Devi Prayer. I can put a link to that in the down below after. There's a couple versions of it on YouTube. I feel very happy for you. Ace of Wands is here. Wow. Okay, my friend. 10 of Cups, 10 of World. This is full. This is so much fulfillment. And you know when you're working with a Crowley deck, a Golden Dawn deck, that the 10 of Worlds is such a rich card. It's showing up at the top of your reading. We've got 4, right? So it's facing the balance card. And the 10 of Worlds, all of the 10s in the Thoth Crowley deck anyway have the Tree of Life on them. But the 10 of Worlds, and if we look to the poem for that one, I don't know how much it speaks to Mercury, but each of the Sephira on the Tree of Life have symbols of Mercury, and this really taps into the healer aspect of all of this, like this fulfillment of healing journeys. And so you would be perhaps taking a master level course of the field that you have embraced. This is maybe this is even about rereading some of the mythology, the stories of Hermes and Asclepius, and so that you can feel this. And I mentioned before that I feel like the tarot deck for you this year is the Phalarkos Tarot or something like that. There's this curiosity of alchemy in that deck that I really like. And no, I don't want to say no. The process of refinement, the process of, you have already long ago begun the journey of turning yourself from lead into gold. Okay, so you've already started that. But working with a deck such as the Phalarkos Tarot that speaks to that so beautifully, and this balance card certainly helps, and it wouldn't surprise me if the art card is here as well too, because this purification and cleansing and a willingness to release what no longer serves and all of that is taken to a whole other level. And with these 2 receptive 10s showing up here, in a 10-year, this is confirmation. And so in the last reading, there was very much so for the Magician card, very much an embracing of a new path and a new journey. But this one is all synced and linked to specifically, a higher frequency journey. And without a doubt, taking that where you will. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just going to pause for a minute here. 4 of Wands. Sage of Crystals. Now, here is another wise one who was, I'm talking about Einstein, was able to integrate the spiritual and the scientific. And if you've been listening to me over the last week and a half, I may have shared that I'm listening to Braiding Sweetgrass in the car as I drive to and from work. And I've really been lingering and sort of rewinding and replaying some of those chapters. And it's so beautiful to hear the weavings of the science and the grace of spirit, and a spirit that is connected to the land. And so this feels like a real weaving of information for you. And with the Four of Wands here, I just this is also a powerful card of integration, and it shows, it's like the two towers. There's a oneness here. The fire comes out front for a little while, and yet you still have that graceful feminine energy standing behind, allowing this light to shine. So I wonder if there are some presentations, some teaching that comes forward for you. Like you have opportunities to share your gift and to deliver in a new way, so that the embracing of this high priestess archetype and working with that this year, when she is invited, because she doesn't, when she is invited, she will come forward and share. She's not one to, she's not going to market herself and find students. She's the one who's going to be there, and they will find her. And through these engagements, this takes your years of work to another place. And it may be these connections that you make with seekers that shift something for you. So how am I getting there? What is that about? Well, that has to do with Ace of Cups. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is incredible. So this is Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands. Eight of Cups. Look at the Eden-like picture in this Eight of Cups. So we have 8 balance and 8 of Cups. And I feel like I'm looking at the keyword, contemplating the keyword on the Voyager Tarot, and I feel like this year, everything that I have been saying is to kind of get you out of a funk. It's to get you to go back to the roots of why you do this work in the first place. That there is another layer, another level. There's always another, regardless of, I'm thinking about the peeling away of, or the koshas. And even if you're fully aware of your Manomaya kosha, that Ananda kosha is still ready to explore in other ways. Depending on what teachings you have received, those higher frequency, those higher levels and layers are open to you, and this is most certainly a time to explore that. And these reinforced cards of balance, Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, there was, and then the two tens. I just feel like, yeah, this is, don't waste time with this. I totally agree. Donna? I want to come back to this first card. And to me, refinement for me is a very important word here. There is I'm thinking of a resource, a spiritual book that you have turned to. And you open a page and maybe there's some pencil notes that you have made. And you read it again, and that teaching comes through in a different way, and you understand a different layer and a different level. So this idea of adjustment, refinement, balance also is a paring away. It's a new level of discernment as well. And you're finally able to better see both simultaneously. The two aces, the two tens. It's extraordinary. Balancing poses in yoga, starting with simpler ones, can be tremendously humbling. And starting with landing and breath and learning to, maybe there is a pose that you do, but you've never practiced it with your eyes closed. And you can start with one eye closed. And there's something about energetically. So when we are able to do a balancing pose in yoga with our eyes closed, what happens is that you sync up with the energy of the universe, so that there's this complete connection between you and the space that you're in, and you and your body. I feel like there's a bit of play here to be had for you as well. Yeah. All right. I really love this connection of cards. Remember that this was in the fire pile, and so it feels like there's a bit of a commitment here on your behalf. There's a bit of a commitment here for you to take this on and be willing to do so, and to let yourself be guided by your high priestess through this year. So drink in the colors and the card that feels the most supportive, and take that with you. Sending you lots of love. Namaste.